Welcome. I want to thank everyone for joining today. I want to thank the PGA of America for throwing the party this week. There's a ton of energy in the industry. You can feel it at the PGA show. And then I really want to thank the PGA of America for their partnership with CapTech. As their official technology provider, we get to work with them every day to better serve their nearly 30,000 members, and it's really a privilege for our company. Today, we're going to talk about new golfer engagement, and we have a lot of brain power and a lot of different perspectives on it on the stage here. Part of that is driven by technology. Damian brings a great perspective from Greengrass, but joining me is Adeel Yang, founder and CEO of Dryvebox, which has a mobile simulator experience. Ryan Engle is the founder and CEO of Golf Plus VR. They are the leading VR product in golf. Had a lot of success, really been fun to follow their story. And Damian Cosby, the executive director of National Links Trust. For those of you who don't know, National Links Trust is focused on municipal golf, protecting and preserving municipal golf in the DC area, and they're doing a lot of great work. Thanks so much for joining. This is a really exciting time for the industry. There's record numbers of people joining the game, and I think an interesting stat is that it's about 50-50 recently that they came in through greengrass golf or traditional golf, and then half came in through alternative golf experiences, whether that's Top Golf, whether it's VR Plus. And that really, at CapTech, we work with clients on helping them reach customers with technology. I also see the value in a simple experience, which is getting outside, being with friends. How do you merge those two is something I think about constantly. Ryan, you doubled down on the technology path. How did you think that the market, there was demand, consumers were looking for something they could do in their house using virtual reality? Like, it was a great bet, but how did you get to that opinion?
Yeah, I think we got really lucky. So when you're doing a startup, you don't really know what's going to work out. But I knew that I love to play golf, and I knew that I couldn't play golf as often as I wanted to because it's time consuming, it's expensive. I got a family and kids, and I thought if we can make golf more accessible by letting you play in your room first thing in the morning or at night, if we can reduce the cost to play, if we can reduce how much time it takes to play, and then speaking of accessibility, I think skill is a huge factor there too, right? So I try to get my friends into golf, and it's extremely painful for them, and it's extremely painful for me to take them on that first round. I think we've all probably been through that. So using technology and using VR, there's a lot that we can do to kind of add those, bumper bowling lanes to kind of make sure that first experience is a little bit more enjoyable and get people to get a birdie long before they would in real life and get them kind of addicted to the feeling of being good at golf before they have the skill to do it.
Right. And Adeel, I think I read that you have a successful entrepreneurial background outside of the golf world. And then did you have a personal investment in getting better at golf? Because, I think how we can get players up to a level where they can really enjoy it. Was that part of your reason behind Dryvebox?
Yeah, 100%. So I was the painful newcomer that Ryan described.
I call them new golfers. Beginners is not a nice one.
We all were, yeah.
New golfers.
So so my background's in medicine, internal medicine, and I, through my entrepreneurial endeavors, obviously have grew a couple of technology companies. And so when I picked up golf, I was in my mid-30s, and it was hard. It was really, really challenging. And for me, it wasn't just the physical challenge. It was the emotional challenge of being embarrassed, going to a driving range, shanking balls, and saying sorry, and taking lessons, and being like, well, I should be getting better. And so to me, a lot of that fueled the genesis of Dryvebox. In fact, I wanted to put a simulator in my home. My wife said no, which I know is a very typical problem. And being able to put it in a trailer, being outside the home, being able to deliver it to people that also are learning golf with me was kind of the genesis of the idea. Yeah.
Damian, I really appreciate you joining us because I think you bring, it's kind of two sides of the story, right? I think everyone here wants to bring new golfers, engage with golfers, but then take them from that technology space into greengrass golf. How are you helping bridge that gap?
Yeah, it's it's a challenge, especially in municipal space. And I love what you guys were saying, because it's something that as operators we struggle with every day. How do we engage new golfers and make them feel comfortable on the golf course? And one of the things I love about the municipal space is it is an easy on-ramp for people to play. The golf courses aren't overly challenging where you're going to get frustrated with the game. Creating other amenities at your facilities, putting courses, short courses. Our East Potomac Golf Links course is a 36-hole facility. We have 3 golf courses, a red course, a white course, and a blue course. And it's like the gradual step. It's the red course is a short par 3 course where you don't need to be none of our courses need to be a great golfer to enjoy, but it's the perfect on-ramp for a golfer. And the white course is a little longer, a little more challenging. That's still fun and engaging. And then our blue course, which is considered the big course. So, it is a struggle to integrate technology into the municipal golf space. Our mandate at NLT is affordable and accessible golf. And it really keying on the affordability piece to it. So trying to marry technology with the understanding we're trying to keep rates low, trying to keep green fees affordable, trying to make sure juniors and older folks can have access to the game is a challenge. And we just need to be smart about it. We need to understand where we can get the most bang for our buck when we look at technology.
You have made some investments, though, in technology, correct? Putting top tracers on your ranges. How have your customers responded to that?
Absolutely loved it. And that's one of the things where being strategic and pinpointing what pieces of technology we want to add to the facility. Top Tracer has been a great partner of ours. It's fun, it's engaging. We have the games on there. The kids can hit the shark and all the other things besides just worrying about launch and spin and how far I'm hitting it. And we went from ranges that were really busy and active to a range where now parents are bringing their kids and they're staying for double the amount of time they were traditionally because of the top tracer. So it's been great. We have 2 facilities with ranges. East Potomac has a range. Langston has a range. East Potomac has 100 stalls with top tracer. Langston has 40 odd stalls with top tracer.
That's awesome.
And then we renovate our Rock Creek location. We're going to add top tracer there as well. So they've been a great partner of ours, and it's been a great addition, a great amenity to our facilities.
That's really cool. So as golfers get used to, going to a municipal golf course and seeing their data and seeing their results via Top Tracer, like I know Ryan, you've done some activations with the PGA Tour. Like at the Phoenix Open last year, you could play 16. Like, is there an expectation from the consumer now? You think that you can bridge that gap between going from a National Links Trust property to Phoenix Open via VR?
Yeah, we hope so. I mean, our goal would be eventually to get every single golf course in the world into VR so that before you go play that golf course in real life, you could go check it out and play it in VR. I mean, tee times at Pebble Beach, I think, are closing in on $1,000. So why not pay $10 and be able to play a dozen times in VR and know what's coming? So we see that as a big opportunity. And as you mentioned, we have a partnership with the PGA Tour. Last year, we released a product called Beat the Pro, where in real time, we would get the shot link data from the PGA Tour on hole 16 of Waste Management. As soon as the pro hit a shot, we would put a target on the green and show you a replay of the pro hitting that shot to that distance from the hole, and then we would give our players the opportunity to try to get it inside of the target.
Could they gamble on it?
So they could gamble virtual currency on it, and it was by far our biggest day for virtual currency in the game because people were really into it. One guy played 2,000 times in like a 6-hour period.
That's incredible. CapTech does a lot of work with clients, PGA included, on real-time data streaming, and there's a lot of investments across sports that we're seeing in that underlying data layer that can feed experiences like the one you're talking about. Because if you don't have that, the real-time part of it goes out the window. So I think the foundation is there for a lot more cool things to happen like that. So a couple stats on how golfers are bridging this gap. 6.2 million players hit in a simulator in 2023. And the most interesting part is half of those, so 3 million people don't play green grass golf, they only play simulator golf. The half that do play green grass golf, only 2% said that their sim golf made them play less green grass golf. So you basically are taking, it's additive. It's increasing their passion and their commitment to the game. And it's probably how you learned, it made you want to get more involved in the game.
100%. I mean, there's no surprise if you look outside the country even, where countries like Korea and other places where sim golf is more popular, it's the norm, it's how people get into the game. Some stay in sim golf forever, but of course everybody wants to have that transition from sim to outdoor, which is also challenging in its own right. And I think being able to educate all of our golfers, new or sim golf for life, to make that transition to green grass is definitely one of the goals of ours as well.
I'm so interested in your personal story. You're a doctor. You're in that space. You do a startup in the medical space, correct? It goes well. What do your friends say when you say you're doing a golf startup?
They say I've ventured down the dark path. No, I fortunately, even when I was in medicine, I had a big focus around education. So my first company was EdTech. It was e-learning for, allied health professionals. My second company was patient education. So we actually built software to help hospitals provide instructions to their patients. So when I obviously went through my own struggle of learning the game of golf, for me, that educational, I would think like career mindset has always kind of steered me towards psychologically and seeing how people perceive the experience and how they can actually learn, because it takes an activation energy, especially for golf, to get that perfect shot, and then you're hooked. And so to me, designing the Dryvebox experience and thinking about when we go out to the communities with our partners, how do we hook people within 3 swings? Okay. And a lot of that is the customer experience that we focus on.
That's awesome. Ryan, the ed tech part made me think of something. I just think having you here as a subject matter expert on where VR is going. Apple is releasing their Vision Pro in the coming weeks. I see 2 big areas beyond entertainment. I think people focus on entertainment. One is retail. Like, what does the shopping experience look like? But what do you think about education? Education is the second one where my mind goes. I would love to hear you two, what's possible in a number of years with headsets and how we can expose people to different ways of learning.
Yeah, I think the genie is out of the bottle. Apple's releasing their headset, and it'll be you can purchase it now, and you'll receive it in the next week or 2. So we'll see how that does. But apparently, they've already sold hundreds of thousands of them at $3,500. So there's a real market for it.
Right.
The hardware is only going to get better. We launched Golf Plus a couple years ago, and there were a couple million headsets in the market, and today there are over 20 million headsets in the market, and we've got over 1 million people playing virtual reality golf, about half of which haven't played golf in real life either. So it's starting to help people find the game, and inevitably the people get into it want to get better at golf. Everybody wants to get better at golf.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about VR is it gives you a really interesting way to visualize what's happening, right? So, you can watch YouTube videos and people can kind of explain, oh, your lead arm should be here, your hands are too high, your hands are too low. But in VR, you can get a 3D representation, and while you're standing there, see exactly where your hand should be.
Oh, wow.
Realize, it's down here. It's supposed to be exactly there. And you can do that from the comfort of your home.
Right.
And every single time you swing, we store all of the data for that swing, where the ball went, but also everything that you did during that swing.
Wow.
So whether you're asking us to track that for you, whether you're at the coach or not, all of that data is being stored. So now we can start to use AI to gain insights about your swing and deliver them to you on demand, or deliver them to you when you might need them most. So halfway through your round, kind of let you know, well, you've been missing left today. Why don't we aim a little bit right? There's trouble left. Here's a better spot.
That's awesome.
Don't shoot at every pin. So I think seamlessly integrating data is where this can get really interesting.
Most of the real life green grass golf that I play, when they're struggling at the turn, they go to the turn stand and try to fix it that way. So AI is a definitely different way to do it. But I mean, you're very modest. you said you have 1 million players. A couple more stats about Golf Plus VR, just to give you the scale of what kind of traction and customer engagement they're getting. 13 million rounds have been played on Golf Plus VR, 1.6 billion shots. How much of that data are you storing? All that data?
We store every single shot.
Your cloud provider, your account rep must absolutely love you. And there are 20,000 players with 100 rounds on 100.
Our number one player has over 3,000 rounds played over the last 2 years, which if you do the math on that, it's like, half a dozen rounds every single day.
Someone should check on him.
Do you check, of those players, of those your highest rounds players, do they play green grass facilities too? Do you guys check?
Yeah, about 80% of our most active players, the ones that have over 100 rounds, 80% of them do play golf in real life. Yeah.
That's really impressive.
Damian, how golf course supply grew 44% in the 20 years to 2006, right? So we almost added 50% nearly of golf course supply. It's contracted 12% since then, and the vast majority of that is in low-cost options. So how important is the mission of National Links Trust? Like, how are you respond? Like, what are the renovation plans? Because that's another piece is you guys have plans to renovate these courses. How are you designing the new product? You mentioned the 3 different levels at the one facility, but how important is that, especially in the nation's capital, and what's the plan?
Yeah, if you set aside the renovation piece, I think we in LT, National Links Trust, we consider ourselves stewards of the game. As you said, golf is we're losing facilities. It is becoming more increasingly expensive. And again, we want to be that on-ramp for new golfers. It's a much easier step to pay $10 for a 9-hole green fee than to pay $300 for a green fee. So, we want to be stewards of the game. We want to make sure not only our 3 municipal facilities, but all municipal facilities across the country can, thrive and survive. We want to make sure they're sustainable in any way, shape, or form we can assist those facilities. We want to do that. That's really at our core what we want to do is make sure the game is around for everybody forever. We don't want to, everybody sees it. You talked about green fees at Pebble Beach and they continue to go up.
Right.
The demand is there and great. God love them. If they can get it, I'm happy for you.
Sure.
But there are a lot of folks out there that's not accessible to them. So we want to make sure, again, affordability, accessibility, but also to your point, the renovation projects. I think we all know the stigma behind municipal golf. It's slow. The golf courses are rather benign. You feel like you've played the same par 4 over and over and over again. So we want to be accessible, affordable, but also engaging. We want the golf courses to be fun.
Right.
We want you to walk away feeling like, I didn't give my left arm to play golf today, but I played a really fun, engaging, well-maintained golf course. Now, it's not going to be maintained to Pebble Beach standards. There's certainly a balance there, but we can maintain them to a really, really good quality where somebody's walking away thinking this was really fantastic. So that's what we want to do, and that goes into grass type selections, how we maintaining the golf course, and lessening inputs we put on the ground, and just always with an eye on that accessibility portion, making sure we keep it affordable for everyone.
And for those of you, the renovation plans on these facilities, some of the biggest names in golf course design have come forward to do pro bono work. So when the funds are raised and the shovels go in the ground, I think Gil Hance, Tom Doak have all donated their time.
Bo Welling.
Bo Welling is the third, have donated their time and design services to make an incredibly engaging.
Yeah, they've been great partners. I'm sure everybody here knows those 3 names. Have played one of their golf courses, so I think everybody understands their expertise. And as you mentioned, they've lent their time and effort and energy and passion to our projects, and we're so thankful for them. And we're really excited to see what they're going to look like here in the near future.
That's awesome. Adeel, you work with some big name brands, Mick Ultra, Cobra Puma, Lululemon. What kind of engagement with their customers are those brands trying to create whenever they bring on Dryvebox in?
So a couple things, right? I think most of these big brands understand that to bridge the gap between their brands and people who may not necessarily been golfers, there needs to be an experience that isn't just hardcore golf. And so what we try to do for our clients is really wrap the trailer, design an experience that their marketing folks and their brand can kind of come together. We bring it out to community events. We bring it out to music festivals. We try to go places where golf traditionally hasn't been.
That's awesome.
And I think that's what they saw is, we have the ability to open up new audience for them. And then when they come in, it's again back to the whole easing people into the sport. How can we make it so that it's not intimidating, but they get the thrill, and then they associate that thrill and golf with the brand. And the other thing we've done, a little bit of software as well, just to make the experience cohesive, is the experience involves getting their information, right? Because the big brands want to know who their customers are.
Yes, they do.
So the data piece that Ryan mentioned is really, really important. And then as a user they finish their 3 swings, they walk out the trailer, and then they get an email with a recording of the swing that they just had, with the brand's logo and messaging, and with data about their swing, so that we can entice them to want to go back and improve upon it. So this whole loop, this experience that we can do anywhere, I think that's the appeal for these folks.
If I could just say, I love that. I love, it's so important to get out to communities, and that invitation to come join us is so important. It's so powerful. It just puts people at ease, as opposed to being dragged there by their buddy. But if we go out as professionals or as business executives and go out into those places that have traditionally not been invited to play, and say, hey, come try this. Now, you may not like it, but at least try it. Give it a try. I think that makes a big difference. And, at least from my perspective, I'm so supportive of missions like that, because it does. It helps us, because as municipal operators, we can't necessarily go everywhere and do those sort of things, get out into the community and do that. But we're happy you are, because we'll take it from there. once you find them,
happy to hand them over. Exactly.
We'll take them from there.
That's the loop.
Yeah, there's so much value to communities beyond just golf. I mean, it's the loneliness epidemic is a real thing, and we need community more than we ever have, and that can come in a variety of ways, right? Golf can be a piece of it. In my neighborhood, we redid a public golf course that was 18 holes with no driving range, and now it's a 9-hole course. There's a kid's short course. There's a putting course, driving range, and it is an incredible amenity and asset for the community. And there are kids, there are women golfers taking up. It is an incredible place. So I've watched that firsthand, 1,000 yards from my house, and it's been incredible.
Yeah, our first project is our Rock Creek golf course. It was originally built 100 years ago. It was 18 holes. That, what you're saying, is the vision for Rock Creek. Himalayas putting green, full bag 9 holes designed by Gil Hance, short course, 2-tier driving range with top tracer. So, the kid or person that's never played golf before can come out and putt free of charge on the putting green. They can migrate toward the driving range. Oh, this is fun. And now I can go to the short course, so they can dip their toe into golf without, I got to go buy a full set of clubs, and, I got to take lessons. And it's just, again, I use the term an on-ramp. It's just a gradual step towards becoming a golfer. So that concept and that idea for kids and families and, anybody is exactly what we're trying to replicate at Rock Creek.
And it's interesting because we actually see the same thing in VR, where a lot of people get the game and maybe they haven't played golf before, and they don't really know what they're supposed to be doing. So it's like, they finish a few holes and they're like, okay, I guess I just keep playing holes. Like, well, what am I doing this for? So we did partner with Top Golf, and now we have a Top Golf in-game where you can go there socially with other people, meet friends, play Top Golf, have fun, grab a buddy, go out onto the course. You can play multiplayer in VR, and then that ends up being way more engaging, and people get through the round because you got someone to share your good shots with. So the social aspect of what we've done has really been far more effective than we would have expected right off the bat. We just figured playing golf would be cool, but playing golf with friends, or we have stories where a father and a son might live across the country from each other.
They can still connect.
They can still connect, and we've actually had some really sweet messages from, sons who have said, my dad and I haven't really bonded in a very long time as we've gotten older, and now we can play golf every single week, and it's like the thing that we look forward to most. So I think golf is just such a great way of connecting people that's become one of our core principles, is just creating bonds that you can maintain.
That's pretty powerful.
Yeah, well, we spoke once before, Ryan, and that story about family members being far apart, as opposed to the one round maybe on Christmas or something, if the weather is warm enough that they can connect, is really powerful. CapTech's really fortunate to have spent the last 18 months and has now been announced as the official tech partner of TGL, the new tech-forward simulator, mixed reality league that Tiger and Rory co-founded. Part of their charge with their 6 teams is building community around those teams. And I know that the LAGC Los Angeles team has done a really good job of that, and Dryvebox has been involved in it. Can you just share what's their ethos on building a community in this new sports property, and how are you a part of that?
Yeah, great team. They wanted to do something differently from day one. What they saw was an opportunity to take Dryvebox, obviously wrap their brand, their experience, but go to places like not just schools, but like skate parks.
Okay.
And random places where they want to make people go, wait a second, this is weird. Like, why are you here?
Golf is truly foreign.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think they're onto something, because at the end of the day, they study their demographic, the future fans of LA, and they're going, we got to do things a little bit differently. And you see their brand online. It's hip. It's cool. You see the players that's joining their team. You see the influence that they're engaging with. And we're just along for the ride, and we have the unique ability to actually bring the experience to these really weird places. And I think that collaboration works really well.
That's really cool. Do you have anything in the works with different tour events? Have you done anything at tour events for fan activation? Because I know that a couple of events I've been to the last few years, they've done a really good job of making it a kind of a whole family experience, as opposed to just, I'm there to watch hardcore golfers to watch the best players in the world. I've taken my young daughters to the Tour Championship the last few years, and they asked me, like, beginning of the summer, like, when are we going to that golf tournament again? They think it's fun. And they honestly don't really care, if Sam Burns won or if Patrick Cantlay won. So I think, there's a lot to learn there for all three, of your businesses.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, please.
So tour events, absolutely. We've worked with like Genesis for Genesis Invitational. In fact, for them, it's a premium experience. 14th hole, our trailer's there, but it's a whole production around it, cars on exhibit. But what they wanted to do is to give, again, people a chance to play while they're watching the game and play the same hole that someone else just played and have prizes to engage them. And at the end of the day, they understand that fan engagement needs to be done a little differently because the demographics changing. The culture of golf is changing. So they're pretty up to speed with that, and couldn't be happier to help them with that.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, I was just going to piggyback that comment. It's about that experience, especially for the non-golfer. How can we create something that's fun? Again, that's interesting. Let me try that, But yeah, having that experience is, your kids are not there to see, somebody good. They couldn't care less. Right. But having other things that make golf fun and exciting to them is certainly what we're trying to do at NLT. And I just want to say I piggyback. I mean, that's the exactly right format.
Yeah, I'm optimistic on people being more open-minded about golf. This is an aside, but somebody sent me a set of Persimmon golf clubs. And I've started messing around with them, and people are like, well, what tees are you going to play? What's your handicap with them, or what? And I'm just like, I don't know. I just go play. Like, I just go up a box if the hole is long. And I think so many people, the story is just, you have to play and have a handicap and play these tees, and all of that is great. It's all part of golf. But, like, light bulb goes off when they're like, I can just go play and...
Yeah, but everybody doesn't need to consume golf that way.
That's right.
And that's one of when I was actually operating courses at the course level and giving lessons, and I would do sometimes playing group lessons, and the first thing everybody would want to do is grab a scorecard. Right. And I'd say, why? You're not like, unfortunately, we're not great players like you are, and we're not working Thursday through Sunday.
Right.
What does it matter? Don't put that pressure on yourself. We're supposed to be having fun. Let's just go play. Just go play. Don't worry about what tees you're playing from. Don't worry about what it doesn't matter. And that goes into, you mentioned how golf is changing, the demographics are changing, and being in the municipal space is great because we want you to consume it however you want. If you want to play barefoot, play barefoot. If you want to play with a hoodie on, play with a hoodie on.
Right.
You want to listen to music, not my cup of tea, but if that's how you are engaging golf and that's how you want to consume it, we are happy to have you here. So for us as operators, we need to be aware of those things. And golf is hard enough. There's enough rules. We're about breaking down barriers, and that includes some of those rules and the old school thought about golf, and it's changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think sometimes we forget. I played competitively in high school, so
sorry, didn't
long
great
time
player
ago.
too. Sorry.
No, I'm not a great player. I'm not a great player. And when I played competitively in high school, I fell out of love with the game because it was very competitive, and a lot of other players were way better than I was ever going to be, no matter how hard I tried. And I think sometimes we forget. I think every golfer wants to get better at golf, right? That's not a secret. No matter how good you are, I think every golfer wants to get better at golf, but I think we forget to ask why that's true. Why do we want to get better at golf? And I think the underlying reason that's way more important than getting better is it's more fun when you're better. It's more fun when you're playing well, but that doesn't mean that you can't have fun regardless of how you're playing. So,
but it's all relative too.
It's all relative,
yeah.
Exactly.
And that's what that's the point a lot of people miss.
It's like you start focusing too much on the score and how you played last time.
And if you're not walking around with an instructor every practice session, like how good are you actually?
And most of us aren't going to be making money by playing well. So yeah, my policy is I never keep track of my score. And if I can't remember what my score is in my head, then I don't need to know what it is.
Right.
Yeah, I'd say I'm a bad golfer. I'm not a bad golfer, but like.
Sounds like we should go play.
If the ball's airborne,
we'd have
I'm
a good
happy.
match.
Like, you know what I mean? Like that's how I view it. If it's moving down the target line, I'm content with that. So, and trying to get students and new golfers to understand that is a challenge. And even golfers that have played for 20 years that are frustrated. Right. It's like, let's rethink our expectations here. Yeah. So.
Damian, what's next for National Links Trust? How can people get involved? I know that awareness of what y'all are doing is huge, and people come to places like the PGA Show there's always these serendipitous connections. So if someone's out there and is like, hey, this is a worthy cause, whatever space you're in the industry. Tell us what's out there.
Yeah, no, thanks for saying that. So National Links Trust, we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And I mentioned earlier, our mission is to promote and protect affordable, accessible, and engaging municipal golf, not only in DC, but across the country. So, on our website, nationallinkstrust.org, tells our story, tells a history about how National Links Trust was formed. We partnered with the National Park Service, and we have a 50-year lease on the only 3 public golf courses in DC.
That's awesome.
And again, we're very excited about these facilities. They are all unique, really, really fun facilities. I mentioned Rock Creek, which is the first project we'll start here this fall. Gil Hans is tackling that design for us. Our second project is going to be at our Langston golf course. And for those that don't know Langston and the history of Langston, Langston, as I see it, is one of the most important facilities for black golf in America. It's home to the Royal and Wake Robin Golf Club. They are 2 of the oldest black golf clubs in the country, and they still play there to this day. Wow. So we're very, very proud of that. Just the history of that facility. Lee Elder worked there. Just the black luminaries that have played golf out of Langston. It's a really, really important facility. Of course, it was built during the time of segregation. It was built on the old DC trash dump. So, really looking forward to that renovation project. And once that's done, we are hoping that Howard University will play out of that facility. Cool. We want the golf course to be strong enough to be able to host, high-level NCAA tournaments. So we were really, really focused on that facility and just that history and what that facility's meant to that community. It is basically a community center that has golf. It's people come there just to play cards and talk to their friends, and we have a workforce development program out of that facility, and we have 30 interns every year and 15 caddies, and we're hoping we're going to have our first Evans Scholar out of Langston this year, which we're thrilled about. One of our other interns just got accepted to Howard University this year. So in addition to our mission to promote and protect golf, but it's also to uplift communities. And again, we view our facilities as community centers that have golf courses, and we want our facilities to be used by the community more than just the golf community. So, and then our last project is East Potomac Golf Links. It's if anybody's ever been to DC and Reagan National Airport, right between the wharf and Reagan National Airport is a little island, and that's where our golf course is. It's got some of the best views you could ever imagine. It's nothing like playing golf and your aiming point is the Washington Monument, or your aiming point is the Navy War College. So it's really, really special. And then in the spring, we have the cherry trees that are all around the property, which is just spectacular. So it's one of the best settings for golf you could possibly imagine. And the original design of that course was a reversible 18. And once that facility is renovated, we are going back to the reversibility. So we're going to have an 18-hole blue course that can be played in 2 different directions. So super excited about that, and it should be really, really fun.
That's awesome. I followed the National Links Trust story the last couple of years. I think it's great. I think y'all are the perfect stewards. I was so excited when you won the 50-year lease, and I've not visited any of those facilities, but they're on my list.
We got to have you down.
Yeah, that'd be great.
They're great.
Ryan, what's next for Golf Plus VR? And then the Apple headset's going to be in the news. Give us a prediction for VR 5 years from now. We've got you here. We're going to take advantage.
Let's do it. Okay, so yeah, we've got some grand plans. Our goal is to double the size of the sport in the next 20 years, something like that. And we think by making it significantly more accessible, which VR can do, that's how we do it. So the way that we measure our success is by looking at how many shots are hit in golf holistically and how many shots are hit in VR. We've only been out for a couple years. We see about 75 billion shots hit in golf holistically across the world.
Per year.
Okay. And last year we did 1 billion shots. So in terms of our journey, I think we're like 1.5% of the way there. So
that's incredible.
We've got a long way to go. There's a long way to go, but you look back 3 years and there were 1 million headsets in the market. You look at the market today, there are about 20 million headsets. Over the last 3 years, you've seen 20x growth in VR. I know there's a lot of VR is dead out there and whatnot, but from our perspective, no other consumer hardware is growing as fast, and the technology is getting significantly better with each iteration. We're about to see, I think, the most impressive headset ever coming out with Apple. And 5 years from now, I think the majority of the people sitting out here, the majority of the people in this show are going to have a VR headset that they use at least weekly, the majority daily at home, because you're going to be able to use it instead of the screens that you already use today. The form factor is going to be significantly more comfortable. It's going to be cheaper. It's going to enable you to connect with people across the world. We're all doing Zoom calls now. It's so much better when you feel like you can be sitting right across from someone, and that tech already exists today. So we're extremely optimistic, and and I think golf just happens to be a great fit for the platform.
That's amazing. Adeel, what are you excited about for Dryvebox? And then give me one more thing that you saw this week that you're bullish on.
So for Dryvebox, at the end of last year, we started franchising.
Oh.
And so right now, the opportunity to empower other people in their community to be able to bring Dryvebox, operate it as a successful business, bring golfers in, I think is a very scalable model for us. This year, we're hoping to reach 50. We just launched, and we have a couple already signed. Bunch more in the works. And I think for us, there's this grand vision, sort of like if you think about some successful franchises out there, similar big vision, we want to have a sim place or place to actually hit balls within 5 minutes of everybody. So to me, proximity has always been a barrier. Like if it's too far away, I'm just not going to take time and drive over there. But if it's within 5 minutes, I'll take a lunch break and go hit some shots. And I think franchising allows us to get to scale, be everywhere, and be able to basically offer golf everywhere. And one exciting thing, Ryan and I have already been talking a lot, and we're going to be doing some collaboration. Obviously, when we go out there to do these engagements, have VR around the box, people can be playing virtual and in the simulator, and we could do that and deliver it to communities. But the one thing I got really excited is Ryan showed me a demo yesterday of their recent putting VR, and I have not seen something as great as what I saw yesterday.
Wow.
And so it in the simulator, putting has always been one of the limitations.
100%.
Most people play around a sim golf and they'll auto putt.
Sure.
But what I saw yesterday, I would putt it out every time.
Wow.
So kudos. Really excited
Thanks,
about
Adeel.
that.
Thanks, Adeel. You're not supposed to share that.
That's really cool.
Couldn't help myself.
Yeah, one theme from everything we talked about, across businesses, industries, hospitality. I was talking to a hospitality client that has brought gamification into their app and loyalty experience. Golf is like the original gamification. It was a paper scorecard. It can be your progress in Dryvebox or Golf Plus VR. So I think it's such a motivating force as people engage with golf, new golfer engagement, and getting them hooked. So that's built into all three of your offerings. So thank you so much. I feel like this maybe had the most brain power of any of the panels. Golf Plus VR.
I'll step away on
a
that brain
doctor.
power.
No, and then so this was a blast. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Best of luck, and thanks so much to the PGA for hosting, and as CapTech, really appreciate being a part of this stage. There's a ton of energy in the industry, and we've loved being a part of these conversations.
Thanks.
Thank
Roberto.
you.
Thank you.